Hey, wonderful people. A pleasant afternoon to you. All right, just overcoming this laryngitis. I want to ask a question to some parents because it's not all. I know that some of you are doing the very best that you can so that your children can be socially fit, not just academia, because the Bible says by your gifts will make room for you. So it's really about your talents, your skills, your abilities that will make you. He will put you before, when it says kings and queens, it's really talking about people who have clout, who have wealth, who can take you to the next level financially, socially, and in other areas that will build you, that helps in your prosperity journey. It's not just so much about your academic attainment or performance, but it does contribute. When I was younger, they always had a saying that said, reading maketh a man. And people just took it very lightly and loosely. Some people not understanding that when you take a book and you read, you realize how much things you really do not know. And a lack of knowledge can cause you to perish physically and figuratively, so that you can perish mentally, psychologically, emotionally, because you lack knowledge, and you lack the application of that knowledge, and you also lack the understanding of that knowledge. Some of you, you might say that you're dunce. Your head tough, your head can't take book. As something come in, it come out of your head, because it somehow the ground or the soil was not fertile, and you're like that dry ground that Jesus spoke about, that when the thing came, birds and everything just came and took it up, or weeds came and just strangled the wheat, so to speak. But in all fairness, some of you see your sons and your daughters, especially the boys, going down a wrong path, and you don't become that disciplinarian in your child's life. When I hear some students speaking, I can hardly believe that they're actually going to school. I can hardly believe that they're actually going to school. You can literally see the difference. It's not like when the Bible talk about, the wheat and the tares, let them grow together until the day of harvest. Because what it was really saying is that, when it talks about people having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, meaning there are some weeds that will look like, that would look like tares. Some tares that will look like wheat. So it's until God comes and he'll be able to shift, because he knows the heart of man. But I'm saying, in the cases of some of these students, you can clearly see the diametrical difference between the wheat and the tares. They sound dunce. They lack emotional intelligence, and they lack intelligence quotient. So they lack knowledge, they lack wisdom, they lack understanding, they lack decorum. It's like butus being reared as butuers in the schools. When I hear some of them, how they speak. Now, I'm not expecting everybody to speak the Queen's English or standard, but at least have some level of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. I can even appreciate. But when they're speaking, it is weightless. The words and the conversation it's baseless. Even cheese tricks has more nutrients in it than the conversations that they have. When they're speaking, I feel like it's a bad man, a gunman, a gangman coming at me when I hear some of them speaking. They sound really unintelligent. There is no intellect, parents. And many of you, we have to hold you accountable because you allow it. They could not. Let me ask you the questions. And we're not talking about people now with money. Even people who may not have it. Let us use, what's his name again? Ben Carson. I think it was Ben Carson. His story, he didn't even know that his mother was illiterate. She ensured that illiteracy would not be a generational curse to her son. She ensured that illiteracy would not pass down from generation to generation. He didn't know that she couldn't read. So she used a little bit of wisdom. psychology on him. Ask him to read every day, and when him start to book shuffle and start to stutter a little bit on certain, she said, read that over again. That time she don't know one jack that he's reading. And I think it's when he became a medical doctor, that's when he knew that his mother was illiterate. She didn't know one word in English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, or whatever it is. But she had to devise a way and a plan to make sure that that generational curse of illiteracy didn't pass down to her son. You can if you want to. She had to hold him accountable. She had to be the disciplinarian in his life. Discipline is love, not abuse. Discipline is love. Discipline is love. How can you feel comfortable to know that that same curse of illiteracy or lacking emotional intelligence or lacking intelligence quotient, which is just really knowledge, that, you know, your ability to retain information, and then they score you against it, and they score you and say, okay, your intelligence quotient, your IQ is this, and your emotional intelligence, or the ability to use that and say, let me see how I can now interact with people and be socially fit and not go against the laws of the land, or to be unethical or immoral. How do I do that? How do I employ these methodologies and strategies? And that is what the emotional intelligence. How do I bring in self-control with the knowledge gained? You're comfortable seeing your sons and your daughters behaving like a wild boar, like a wild hog, like a wild and extremely wild hog or wild pig, unintelligent. You're okay with that? That doesn't discombobulate your mind? That doesn't disturb you and perplex you and say, what is this have I created? What is this have I really brought on the land of the living? It doesn't disturb you at all, parents? To know that this is a replica of you and that you could change the trajectory of that child. It bothers me when I hear some of these students speaking nowadays. I didn't grow up hearing that. I remember I was saying to somebody when I became an adult, me chit papatwa. They love it now. I mean, I embrace it. But I'm able to, you know, there is a dichotomy. I know when to use it, when not to. It's like learning different languages. At least know the different languages. Even if you don't practice it every single day, but at least have knowledge of it. You're okay with your children being dunce and uneducated and lacking emotional intelligence, self-control. So some of you will tell the students, if the teacher holds you accountable and disciplines you, you retaliate. Some of you will do that, and you're okay with that. I'm not saying that in here. Notice I say discipline. I never spoke to abuse. You're okay with your children coming home barely can read and write? Sometimes when I look at on TikTok and when I look at what people write, I have to reread it to get what they're actually saying. The spelling is off, the grammar is off, every single thing is off. It's neither patois, English, French, nor Spanish. I don't know what language it is. And many of you are comfortable watching your children go down the rut. Scamming and chopping, it's like the order of the day. And you feel like that is the only thing that you consider. You consider that, oh, from he's doing well, seemingly doing well financially, he's okay. Easy come, easy go. Oh my God, my heart is so confused and perplexed. Because many of you parents actually allow it because you don't discipline and hold your children accountable. Sad, but what to do. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe and